Hey readers, today I have your third social issue. Hey readers, today I have your third social issues session number 3. That's really hard to say very fast. It is titled Read with a Particular Lens. So we in the last session, we talked about the different characters, looking at their personal struggles to help us understand the bigger issue, the big social issue. You did this work with Out of My Mind, and I showed you this work with Judy Blume. So I created a chart similar to the last sessions to help us, stay on track here. So we have Jill, and it's still early, but I noticed that one of her personal struggles, whether she sees it that way or not, is that she teases others. And that Linda, she's picked on and called blubber. These two personal issues made me think of these larger social issues of differences fitting in and possibly even bullying. Well, not possibly, obviously bullying. So maybe blubber is trying to teach me about differences or fitting in or bullying. For Out of My Mind, Melody, she doesn't speak, she can't move much, and then other people really cannot communicate with her. And so that also made me think of a larger issue from these personal issues of fitting in, or even a lot of you have mentioned disabilities. And so again, we use these larger social issues to consider bigger, larger issues or social issues in the text. Before you go on, make sure that you listen to chapter 3 of Blubber, because otherwise my work will not make sense to you. So pause here, go to Padlet, listen to it, come back, unpause. So today I want to teach you that critical readers read with a particular lens in mind, asking, what does this story teach about? Blah, blah, blah. So whatever social issue you're focusing on right there. Also, critical readers know that they need to raise the level of their reading, and one way to do that is to read outside of our chapter books. And the reason we do that is just to develop a deeper understanding of the social issues that we're focusing on. So for me, spoiler alert, I am working on fitting in. And so I read this winning team one in this poem and this equal pay. I've read a couple other ones before, but today I just read those 3. So my point is that next to the right of my reader's notebook pages that I've posted for you, I added 3 more columns with other resources for you that are related to the topics I've been seeing you write about. So some of these will work for you, some of them won't work for you. Don't look at them all today. There's too many of there. I even have more for later. I just didn't want to overwhelm you yet. So these are some resources that are going to help grow your knowledge on your social issue. So what did I do today? After I read chapter 3, well, before I read chapter 3, I asked myself that question of, what does this story teach about fitting in? So even before I picked up the book, I wrote fitting in on a sticky note. And then as I was reading, anytime I noticed something different, I would jot it down. And, the author took quite a bit of page real estate to talk about the beach hat. So I felt like that was really important. I wrote it down, Kenny's weird costume and dance moves. Jill painted her brand new boots that she's never worn, and no one knows what a flencer is, which I had a really hard time reading or saying while I was reading. It was funny. And that kids were dressed differently, but a lot of them were bums. So here's what I wrote. So I have a label here, the date, it's chapter 3, and I was asking myself, what is this text teaching me about fitting in? Okay, made a boo-boo. So I think Blubber is trying to teach me that there are many ways that people do not fit in. I felt like Judy Blume put a lot of effort in chapter 3 to almost list all the ways the characters are different, yet doing the same. For example, all the kids dressed up for Halloween, which is doing the same. But many students wore different costumes, which is the different part. Judy Blume even made sure to show that the characters would dress differently in another character's costume. For example, Jill thought Kenny was weird for wearing goggles and the fake cigar. And then Kenny thought Jill looked weird in gold boots with dolphins hanging from her hat. Should have that. I think Judy Blume is introducing small ways that the characters won't fit in big ways later on. So what you can notice that I did is that I focused on one lens, fitting in. I provided text evidence, for example, and I elaborated more on my thinking by saying more about that thought. I could have stopped right here and saying, she's talking about being different. But I went on and I said more about that. So today I'm inviting you to read some of those other texts that I posted on Padlet and build up on your knowledge on your social issue. And then I want you to read with a particular lens. Then go and read chapters 4 and 5 of Out of My Mind and ask yourself, the whole time you're reading, what does this text teach about blank? Pick one social issue that you've been noticing and then write about that. What did you notice? Write your thinking in very much the same way that I did. Once again, here is your link and QR code to access Padlet. If you didn't already, bookmark it. Happy reading!